in it. True story. How did it all happen? How did it play out? We'll get to that later on in the show. You have an interesting wisdom teeth story too, right, Funkhouser?
Yeah, I lost a dime.
Lost a dime?
Lost a dime.
Well, we'll get
my
into
tease. It took me 2 days to figure it out. But yeah.
2 days to figure it out. Funkhouser lost a dime. I had a hot nurse and something went in my butt. Okay. Usually, see, the thing is, Funkhouser has a lot more hot nurse type stories than I do. Like, you ever gotten busy on an airplane? No. Oh, wait, I remember now. I had sex with a porn star on a private jet. That's a good story and the type of thing that Funkhouser casually omits from the conversation on a regular basis. So sometimes we have to jog his memory to get the best tease out of him. But that's it. The dime. You lost a dime.
Lost a dime.
Okay. We'll get into our various wisdom teeth stories after we finish up the news. What else is going on, Funkhouser?
Former Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson is in police custody after stabbing a guy in an L.A. bar.
You know who that is? I didn't know who it was, and then I looked that up. Jeremy Jackson played David Hasselhoff's son on Baywatch. You remember Baywatch? Like, Baywatch was actually much bigger in England, I found out years later.
Yeah?
Like, it was a huge show in England. Didn't actually do that well in America. Like, kept going, but mostly it kept going because, like, we've got an enormous market in England, and they love David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson in England, so it kept going. So, like, to me, Baywatch was like Beatlemania growing up. Everybody knew all the characters and all this sort of stuff. And then it turns out it wasn't that big a deal over here. But yeah, Jeremy Jackson played David Hasselhoff's son. Do you remember that? Remember who he is? This adorable little peanut of a kid who's now like beating the crap out of. Well, I think he's in his 30s now. I'm not sure, but he was this adorable little peanut of a kid. And I remembered things did not go well for him after Baywatch. This is how we can tell things did not go well from him. I remember, when was MySpace a thing? 2008?
Yeah, I think so, about that time.
I don't know. When MySpace was coming out, when it was, people were like, what is a social network? I don't get it. He went on the Tyra Banks show and explained what MySpace is and how he used it to promote things. And he was very, very dressed up in douchey attire that one associates with the 2008 MySpace era. And they're like, so what do you use it for? He was like, I'm just like, he was one of the sort of pioneering members of MySpace and like this B-list celebrity that got on. And people were just like, oh, that guy from Baywatch is on. He had a MySpace sort of life. And I remember... this just goes to show. This just goes to show how badly it went wrong for him. When they asked him what he used MySpace for, he was like, "Oh, usually, promoting stuff like my Ed Hardy parties." And that more or less sums up the downward trajectory of his career in one sentence. I use MySpace to promote Ed Hardy parties. I know.
I don't feel good anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go delete my MySpace page, even though I haven't been there in 10 years.
Former Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson in police custody after stabbing a guy in an L.A. bar. I think the altercation began when the other dude viciously insulted him by going, "Hey, are you former Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson?"
And then he came at him in slow motion.
Yeah, I guess we were wrong. Jeremy Jackson can get arrested in Hollywood. Go on.
I just don't believe it. Guess who's 61 years old today?
Who?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, right.
That's my horrible impersonation.
That's not bad, actually. I think you have to say some Seinfeldian stuff, though. Like, oh, are these people that are turning 61? Oh, it's me. That was also not good. Jerry Seinfeld is 61 today, which explains his new joke. What is the deal with walking around the mall at 6 a.m?
Hey, Jerry, you want to go to the mall?
Giddy up. All right, go on.
We have to stay out of Baltimore, Jerry.
Jerry Seinfeld said something that I loved not so long ago. Did you see what he said? And Funkhouser was all for it, where he was talking about comedians and cars getting coffee. I got to find the exact quote somewhere. But he very succinctly pointed out that It was good to be the best at television, which is, almost undisputed that Seinfeld was the greatest television show of all time. Almost undisputed. And, I think that anybody who doesn't agree that it was the best television show of all time will agree that it's up there. It's in the top effing 5. And Jerry Seinfeld rightfully takes credit for being very, very up in the game when it came to all that. I can't find
somebody
the exact
just
quote.
bought the rights to Seinfeld online for $180 million. I can't remember the outlet that's bought the rights. It may be Hulu, but that show's still raking in tons and tons of cash.
You know why? It's because every single time you watch it, it gets smarter and smarter and funnier funnier.
Hulu pays nearly $180 million for online rights to Seinfeld. So find Seinfeld on Hulu for free.
It was going to be Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Netflix bought the rights to Friends and realized it wasn't, they didn't get a good ROI on it.
Oh no, my money is gone.
Yeah, yeah. So They passed on Seinfeld, and it was going to go to Netflix, but it didn't. Anyways, the long and short of it is Jerry Seinfeld said, show business should be for people with talent. We've got an entire garbage can full of user-generated content called YouTube. We're looking to be something a little bit better. I couldn't feel more strongly about this. Show business is for people with talent, which I guess means Funkhouser, and I should get off the air after this.
Tommy, do you remember that lying to your friends? Like when you stole my guitar and you sold it so you can eat that fight good end. How does it feel to be knowing that you let everybody who cares about you let them down? Till he doesn't even know he's kidding himself about why no one takes his calls or ever wants him around. Wasted again. Just another night in your never-ending story. Wasted again. Just another night in your never-ending story. You just can't stop, you just can't quit, and all your friends are so sick of it. Wasted again. Just another night in your never-ending story. Tommy's going to jail after he got caught holding for somebody else. You know it's never his fault. And when Tommy gets out, nothing changes at all. And we wait for the call saying that Tommy is gone. Tommy quit for a week, that just didn't take. And his biggest...
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
Funkhouser, what remains of the news?
Oh, just so much. Whoopi Goldberg says she hasn't worn a bra in 40 years.
It was during a segment on The View called "This Is Why We're Losing to the Talk."
My eyes are up here, camera guy.
On the upside of things, I would imagine that the areas of floor underneath where Whoopi sits are kept pendulously clean.
There is no upside. Only two downsides.
Two downsides. Sorry. Now I've got a mental image of Whoopi Goldberg's cans dragging on the floor behind her as she walks, and it's something that I want to get out of my mind's eye, but I just can't.
Let me help you. Tori Amos says straight men can't handle her shows because she's too, quote, raw.
Meanwhile, straight men say they can't handle Tori Amos' shows because her music is terrible since about 1995. I remember when, I first saw Tori Amos, a young, impressionable kid. There's this, red-haired beauty of a woman essentially humping a piano while she sings these really incredible kind of deep songs. And as a child, I remember seeing her on TV, and I guess she had kind of a moment in England where I grew up, so, she was sort of around a little bit. And I thought, God, this is amazing. This person is amazing. This woman's amazing, And then, I don't know what happened. A couple years later, I saw her be interviewed. I was like, this person is awful. Just awful. Seriously. No one could ever be... Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I think when you become an adult and you realize that, overly dramatic adults just need a slap. And Tori Amos, I can't say she deserves a slap because then that's woman beating stuff. But, Tori Amos and people like her need to pull their particular mode of transportation over to the side of the reality turnpike and grow up and stop writing 16-year-old manic poetry and calling it what they do for a living.
You know that aggression you have when you're stuck in traffic and you don't know why? I picture that's how you feel all the time when you're around her.
If I could only just get moving.
I just can't get I can't get happy.
Really, there's nothing, nothing awful about my situation. I just have to wait it out.
Another thing in my way. God!
Yeah, that's what I think hanging out at Tori Amos. Actually, that's probably what it's like attending a Tori Amos show.
And behind Whoopi Goldberg, too.
Right,
all these things in my way.
Yeah, at least you have some. At least you have two things to clear a path. Go on.
NBC's investigation into Brian Williams uncovered more lies.
Right. Or as Brian Williams puts it, I've been totally cleared. Go on.
Why don't you have a seat? Just sit over here. Have a seat. Rapper Too Short turned 49 yesterday.
Yeah, he celebrated with his brothers. Extremely and significantly.
Oh, and his distant cousin, not at all.
Now there's a clamor. There's 18.9 seconds of gold.
Too much. Gotta add it 0.9 seconds.
What else?
Today's Baltimore Orioles game will be closed to the public.
Right. Today's Oakland Athletics game won't be, but it'll sure look like it. Go on.
We got the same attendance here, Steve. I know, Steve. This is crazy, Steve. Isn't it, Steve? NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the league will end its tax-exempt status.
Right. No plans on ending the NFL's punishment-exempt status, though. That's good. Those sons of bitches getting away with not paying taxes like a church. Oh, my God, that would make me mad every single time I saw a football game on TV. What's interesting is, clearly the NFL has money to burn. But you throw a wrench hey, now you have to pay taxes. Corporate taxes, which in America are 30% roughly. That's a wrench that's getting thrown into the works. So if the NFL is going to start paying taxes, I don't know. Maybe they won't do it this year. Maybe they'll hold off for a little bit and get a game plan together. But you throw sort of a wrench like that in the works, in the financial works. Hey, all of a sudden you got to give up 30% of what you're making. That will change things significantly in the NFL. They're going to do their very best to make sure it never looks like it's changed anything to us from the outside looking in. But there's going to be some interesting things happening within that organization. And I wish we were going to be privy to them because I'd like to see those non-tax-paying sons of bitches sweat. Every single month I get my paycheck, and I'm just like, God, I really feel like I worked harder than that. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Sunshine tax, being bent over by Uncle Scam without lube. Yeah. So that pain that I feel every single month when I'm looking at my paycheck going, why the hell do I work so hard anyway for so little? I'm excited to see the NFL participate in that particular financial